Raise your hand if you are a 70s kid. So, as a 70s kid, we tend to think of you with a big bow in your hair,
yes,
and frilly dresses and skirts. But who was Allison Arngrim off screen in the 70s? What was your favorite TV show? What games were you playing? What toys did you like? And what was your favorite music?
Well, you know what's funny? I actually, right before I got Little House, I did have a Holly Hobbie doll, which is hysterical. I had the Holly Hobbie doll. And then I got Little House. It was like prophetic. Was it a sign? Yes, let's see. I was a jeans and t-shirts kid. I had my Mickey Mouse Club t-shirt and my skinny jeans and my red Converse high top tennies. Prone to that. And then let's see, what did I was, there was that Mel Brooks show, When They Were Rotten. There was a send-up of it was like one season. It was a Robin Hood comedy by Mel Brooks, and it was opposite Little House, and I was so mad. So when there was an episode I wasn't in, I would watch that. There was no VCR or TiVo or anything. You just were stuck. So I watched that. I saw all the 70s movies. I wasn't a Star Wars person, although I've now seen all of them and like them. I did love Jaws.
Who took you to see Jaws?
Catherine McGregor, Mrs. Olsen, of course. Catherine McGregor took us to all the most inappropriate movies. She took us to see Young Frankenstein. That's not actually for children, is it? No, I don't think so. It was awesome. Yeah, we saw all the Mel Brooks movies, all the comedies in the 70s, anything with Al Pacino or Sylvester Stallone or Robert De Niro. Absolutely, 100%, yeah.
Toys and games beyond Holly Hobbie.
I don't know. Let's see, what did I play? I did have color forms. I don't think I had the Little House color forms. I did have a Barbie eventually. I had a Malibu Barbie. And I didn't have the official Barbie car, I had a different car, but I had the Barbie camper. I had the camper in the 70s when it was all avocado green and harvest gold. And my Barbie, the movie has so nailed it because my Barbie didn't really like Ken. He was a little too, soft. So I had one of those G.I. Joes with real hair and
so did Melissa. Melissa told us that she paired her Barbie
She did
up with
G.I. Joe, right? Melissa and I, we joke about being sisters. But it's really true. We spent so much time together as little kids that I was at her house one night, and she's grown-ups as adults. I'm at her house, and her kid wasn't feeling well, and she went to get him a wet washcloth for his head, and she said something about, do you want a whoppie? And I said, oh, a whoppie? Do you call a cold wet washcloth for the head a whoppie? That's so strange, because that's what I called it as a child. And she looks at me like I'm a complete idiot and says, I know, we grew up together, remember? And so, yeah, we have the same names for things. We practically created our own language. So, yes, we did all the same thing. We absolutely would have had the G.I. Joe with our Barbie because we are twins, yes.
Got it. You sort of touched on this, but, you would shoot the show, and then the show would go away and be edited and packaged, and the music would be laid in and all that.
Yeah.
Did you watch the finished product with everybody else in prime time?
Oh, God, yes. Yeah. Well, because, my family were excited because I had a steady job, which was a big deal in our family. You have work. And if you've read my book, we didn't have, a lot of money right when I got the show. And it was all worked out. My mom had a job. My dad had just started his own management company after having worked for Seymour Heller and Associates and Liberace. And so we didn't have a lot of money. So when I first started, my mom said, would you mind buying, groceries? And I said, sure. And then, there was a problem with my check, and the trust suite, had no money for 2-3 weeks, and it was, ridiculous. And we turned into the Ingalls, basically. We were, twisting hay. We had, nothing. So they were very excited that I had a job. And so we would watch it together. Sometimes we'd have people over. If it was a big episode I was in. When I married the pig farmer, we actually had a party, and I put on a fake wedding dress, and everyone brought me pig or pork-related gifts. Packages of bacon, jars of pickled pig's feet, and we had a cake, and it was hysterical. So yes, we would gather around the set to see what I was going to do now, and my family would all hoot and holler and scream, and yeah.
Now, had you seen the scenes you weren't in prior to it being on primetime?
No, exactly. I wouldn't have seen any scenes I wasn't in. Unless it was okay, we're shooting you and you have some time off now, we're shooting Melissa and Karen, and then sometimes I would see that. But generally, maybe a handful of scenes I would be present for that I wasn't in, that I made, and then I'd have to go to school if I wasn't in the scene. So there was stuff I didn't see, and there's episodes, of course, I wasn't in. My favorite episode I'm not in is the raccoon. Mm-hmm. Do you know? It is literally the only episode that makes me cry. I know, how weird is that? I mean, Little House on the Prairie. I would sit and go, no, I don't cry at the show. Oh, wait, the raccoon is Jasper, and he's okay. And I, like, lose my mind over the raccoon. Sob my brains out.
Okay, so one of your favorite episode without you is the raccoon, but one of the questions that has been asked of me, because people are like, oh, we know what episodes people like. We know your favorite episode is Bunny. What is your least favorite episode in which you appear?
Okay. Anything with a sporting event. Founders Day, God,
Fight team
Winoka
fight.
Warriors, fight team fight. All of these sporting events ones I found to be like insanely boring. And to shoot them. See, the problem is when you shoot a Founders Day or Winoka or sporting event, it's kind of playing the game part. Yeah, that's great. But you're in the bleachers, right? You're not watching the game because they shoot from different angles. So they shoot the game, and then we all sit in the bleachers in the 120-degree heat. And we sit
at an
there,
empty field.
And they go, okay, everybody, and now your team is winning. Yay! And now it's going badly. Oh. And we literally watch nothing for several hours doing
in
yay and boo.
120-degree heat.
Oh, no. All the Founders Day and Winoka sports ones, we'd go, no, not that. Anything but that. Yeah.
How often do you get recognized in your general, like at the grocery store, at the dentist's office? How often do you get recognized, and what are people's reactions?
Well, my dentist knows me well and has my picture up in the lobby, so everybody knows it's me at the dentist, and they love me at the dentist. I get treated very well at the dentist. By the way, if you live in LA and you need a good dentist, Dr. Nader Nickman is the best dentist in town. 100% painless. I used to hate going to the dentist. I was like freaked out by dentists. This guy is like the bomb. He's great. But yes, everybody knows I go to Nader Nickman. The whole staff are like, oh my God, she's here. I live in Tujunga, which is a wonderfully weird place in LA, where, as one woman said to me, we figured if you moved to Tujunga, you must be hiding from something. So we didn't say anything. So they all know it's me and don't say anything. I was at the pet food store. It's like a feed and seed practically, buying cat food, and they had a little girl at the lady's daughter. The lady ran its daughter. She's about 11, running the cash register. I said, fantastic. Is this your first job? She said, yes. How old are you? 11. I said, well, I was about your age when I got my first job. And everyone in the store turns around and goes, yeah, we know. We watched you this afternoon. And I said, how the heck long did you guys know it was me? And they said, about 3-4 years ago when you moved in. I said, what you did? Said, well, we figured if you're living in Tujunga. So yes, we call it the Nelly that dare not speak its name. People, they'll come by in the supermarket and whisper in my ear, love your show, and walk away. Very strange, very strange. But everybody, I get recognized every day. It's crazy. It's raining. Oh my God, it's raining.
Raining a little bit out there.
It's raining just a little tiny
Just so
bit.
folks know, if there is the slightest hit of thunder, we have been told that the fire department will make us empty the
because
tanks.
if lightning strikes this tent, it will be the blind school episode. And we don't want that. And Hersha Parody isn't here to break the window with her elbow and the baby. So, yeah.
So just be prepared. When you watch the series now,
Yes.
do you have a different perspective, or do you notice things that you didn't notice previously?
Oh, yeah. I notice things like that. Also, all this Blu-ray high-def hoo-ha thing. Okay, a lot of fans have known, you all talk about it on Facebook. You can see stuff now on your fancy televisions and the fancy new Blu-ray DVDs and everything that you physically could not see on a television they made in the 70s. It's a completely different thing. So people have said, oh man, the school benches aren't real wood. It's just painted swirly things. It looked great in the 70s, I swear. There's a shot where you can see Maury Dexter, the second AD, standing off to the side because the framing now, there's stuff that's not supposed to be in the shot. It's absolutely, you can see my braces on my teeth. You can see Melissa's braces. I swear you could not see any of that in the 70s. I have to see how the bee episode looks. Remember when Mrs. Olsen and I thought it would be smart to get a log full of honey and bees? Yeah, and we're swarming. So this was non-CGI 70s technology. No bees. Catherine and I, Mrs. Olsen, we just went ow, 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 and they took like stock footage from like Disney or something of bees swarming from Wild Kingdom and superimposed it. I don't know what that looks like now. That might not work. It looks
Probably
great.
terrific.
It probably looks great, right? We saved millions, yes.
This is a little more serious, but what have people told you about the impact that Little House has had on their lives?
Okay, well, I mean, I was just on the Little House Safe Space panel about the healing for people who've been abused. The stories I've heard from people who said, my childhood was awful, and I pretended that Charles and Caroline were my parents. And that's how I got through it. I've heard that like 1 billion times. People said my parents just didn't understand me, but Charles and Caroline would have. If only my parents weren't around or my dad died. If only Charles had been. And that is huge. Apparently a lot of people were making our family their family. And I think that's really cool. And I'm so glad you were able to do that.
A little while ago, Melissa was telling us, do you remember the fur coat incident?
Oh, shut up. I was thinking about this because with Jonathan, how much do we love Jonathan Gilbert now? And some of you women are posting things on Facebook. I'm like, that's my baby brother. Stop saying those things. Inappropriate. He's so cute. So he and Melissa did this prank. And when he was doing that whole thing on Instagram, like hiding out, I said, well, it is Jonathan, and nothing was too outrageous for a Jonathan prank. So one day I'm over at Melissa and Jonathan's house, and there was always something being staged, and there were a bunch of kids, and suddenly Melissa and Jonathan, there's a monster living in the garage. And I'm like, oh, not again with this stuff. Because remember, I'm way older than all of them. I'm like, seriously, guys? No, there's a monster in the garage. I'm like 14. I'm like, stop. And they go, oh, yes. I go, well, this should be interesting. So they open the garage door, and it's like they're starting a play. It's like, I know, the monster in the garage. Like, I think they charge people 50 cents or something to cover it. Jonathan, so help me God, goes to the refrigerator and pulls out this like $28 steak. Like this massive T-bone cut of steak that would have fed my family for a week, thank you, and takes this steak and throws it on the floor of the garage. And I'm like, really? Okay, dude. And then this dark gray, shiny, slithering mass comes out of the shadows to eat the steak. And I see the fishing line, because I'm not an idiot. And I see what's on the fishing line, and I go, I know. That's Melissa's aunt's silver fox coat. That is a $40,000 silver fox fur coat being dragged across a filthy garage floor on a fishing line to eat the $28 steak that's been fluffed. And it was very effective. I mean, the younger kids were frightened, and even its older ones went, impressive. And then when they concluded this, they snipped the line and shook the coat out and hung it back up in the closet, and she never knew. And Jonathan took the steak and rinsed it off and put it back in the fridge. And I did not tell his mother or aunt. I didn't know. No, I see nothing. That did not happen. I am so not telling anyone I saw it. Yeah.
So you told stories that you hung out with Melissa
Yes.
a lot.
It was
so
crazy.
What was it like, if you and Melissa and Jonathan, you go to 7-Eleven and it's like Nelly and Laura and Willie just walk into the store?
It was so bizarre. Now, when Melissa and I would go to the supermarket, if we got separated, people would come up to her in her aisle and say that I was in the store and was she okay? Did she need help? Because that was always fun. There was the really wacko Christmas shopping trip. It was Christmas. She goes, you want to go Christmas shopping with my family? I'm like, sure. We got in a limo with her mom, stepdad Harold Abelese, who's Sarah Gilbert's dad, the half-sister Tracy, Jonathan, just like all these people, and went to Beverly Hills. And we went to Saks Fifth Avenue and Neiman Marcus and all this, and Barbara was trying on dresses in like the VIP room while Harold like smoked cigars and drank brandy. It was like out of a movie. And then they just turned us kids loose in like Neiman Marcus, like Saks, like these really expensive stores. We tried on all the wigs in the wig department. We were trying on hats and I don't know how we did not get thrown out. It was absolute chaos. Water balloons. Did you know about the water balloons?
Oh no, tell us about the water
The
balloons.
police did kind of get called. There were a couple water ballooning incidents. Me and Melissa and Jonathan, some other kids up. There was a hill around the corner from our house. This is Encino. So we were throwing water balloons at, Bentleys and Cadillacs and Mercedes and Benz. Like, got them. The only problem is she apparently tried this on New Year's Eve, and I think the Landon kids were there and everything. But it was New Year's, and people were coming home drunk, and they were hitting the windshields with water balloons. Not cool. And the cops did come. And they all fled in different directions. And the fun part was their parents were just about to come home. And Melissa said Jonathan snuck around the back of the house, rolled down the hill, came in the door and went, "Hi, did you guys have a good time at dinner?" Like, no, nothing happened. Nothing. He could do that. He still got it.